Ngannou versus Rozenstruik, 20-second KO. Wow, I mean, what a fight. We knew this fight was going to be a banger. Both guys have crazy knockout power. And they showed it. At least Francis Ngannou showed it. What do you think of that fight, Pablo?
Well, before it happened, I didn't know what to expect, really. I mean, Ngannou definitely has the power, so does Rozenstruik. It was one of those things. I think Rozenstruik, he has a way of getting in with that punch, while Francis Ngannou, he's more just of like a hurricane.
Just lets it all go.
Yeah.
Doesn't hold anything back.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was gonna be. I was expecting it to be like a game of a hurricane versus a bit of precision, and who was gonna play the game better. But as it turned out, the hurricane wins.
Yeah, the Hurricane won again. That should be his new nickname. Man, Francis Ngannou, you know, he's such a weird fighter because he's actually a very, very bad, you know, striker. If you look at it technically, if you look at how he's throwing his punches, like everything about his stand-up, outside of the KO power, is bad, you know. But his KO power is so ridiculous that not only is it effective, you know, like he can rely on it, but you know, I think it makes people scared. I mean, it scares people, and kind of it's one of those things that feeds people before they even go in there with them, because they know like they cannot even make half a mistake with this guy.
Yeah,
they can't even make half a mistake with this guy, man. And if you look at Rozenstruik, he was actually, you know, doing the right thing, and like a lot of people, he wasn't completely doing the right thing. I mean, right in the beginning, the first 5 seconds, there was only 20 seconds of the fight. But for the first 5 seconds, when they were just standing like kickboxing style, and Francis Ngannou was like throwing a jab, and Rozenstruik was kind of just catching the jab and throwing like a jab. That's not what you want to do with Francis Ngannou.
No.
You cannot do that. Anytime he moves, you gotta assume there's a knockout coming, and you gotta move out of the way with something. You gotta use really good footwork. You gotta use your angles like crazy. You gotta get that distance, like a lot of distance between you and him, or you gotta go for that takedown. You know, if you want to kickbox with him, you better basically rely on your teep and have a really strong teep. Just bump, push him away, and then maybe come up with a head kick. But really, you should try to wrestle with him.
Yeah, realistically.
But you know, when Francis was launching himself at him in that tornado, it really is like a tornado. I mean, Rozenstruik was actually trying to slip and land. You know, he was trying to slip, like Francis was throwing the right hand. Rozenstruik was slipping and throwing the left hand, and he was actually tagging Ngannou. But he just didn't commit behind it enough. He was too scared from all that power and ferocity that was coming at him. And if you look at Francis Ngannou, I mean, don't take my, you know, I'm not saying he's a bad striker, like to be offensive or something. He's really scary striker, but he's not technical. He just isn't. He threw a right, left, right, which all missed, and then the left one finally, Coach Rozenstruik. And I mean, he was throwing them with reckless abandon. He wasn't even looking. He was throwing the punch, and then he wasn't even looking. He was just moving his head and throwing, and then looking, and then trying to just hit the target, which is why he didn't hit the target 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And then finally, on the 4th strike, he caught that knockout.
Well, that's his game, right? He's just gotta get that touch. If he touches you, then he's got so much power behind it. Now, I actually think that when it comes down to his initial striking, I think he's very good and very technical, but because his goal is to put in all the power and to get his target and to get that touch, then as soon as he begins, then right after that initial bit, then he turns into the tornado and he just tries to hit the target without focusing much. But I think before that point, I think he's very good technically, because you can see him. He's good. He's got good leg kicks at times. Not in this fight. Not fighting or not. And over his career in the UFC, he's gotten better with his jabs and straight punches and whatnot. We didn't see that in this fight because he was just going for gold.
And it was only a 20-second fight as well, you know?
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're right, you know? I mean, in previous fights, we did see more technique of him. But still not. I think the point I'm trying to make is Francis Ngannou is such a dangerous fight to anybody.
Absolutely.
Not just in the division. In anybody on earth, you know?
Yeah.
But
you don't want to fight him.
The problem is, you know, when you people are talking about, oh, you know, what if he fights John Jones? That, you know, I mean, why are you intrigued to see John Jones fight Francis when Stipe already fought him and figured that puzzle out and beat him up so bad? And that's the problem, you know. If I was Francis' coach, be like, yeah, you can beat basically everyone, but you cannot beat the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
Stipe,
if they have a game plan which they can put
DC, these guys are not gonna stand there with you and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna kickbox. They're gonna go for the takedown, you know. When he comes at them, they're gonna have something waiting for him, you know. They're gonna move out of the way. They're gonna do all those things we just talked about, and that's the problem. He lacks so much.
Yeah. He's not
especially if you start looking outside of his striking game, you start looking at his grappling, his wrestling. He lacks so much. So it's a really tough situation. It's a weird situation for everybody. It's a weird situation for the UFC as well, because they're like, what do we do with this guy?
Yeah.
Anybody we put him in there with, he's gonna 95% chance knock them out cold. But I don't know. Francis is a very intriguing guy. I really like Francis. You know. I really like Francis.
Yeah.
Just, I'm really interested to see how he goes in, where he goes from here.
Yeah.
Fights Stipe or DC, you know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, like you said, there's 95% chance he's gonna knock people out, and he has knocked a lot of people who are at that elite level. Maybe not the Stipes and DCs, which are currently the elite, but he's knocked out Alistair Overeem, Junior Dos Santos, all these huge names, and of course they're kickboxers and whatnot. But what
past their prime, you know?
Yeah, of course. But what point I'm trying to make is that the elite of the elite, such as Stipe and DC, they're going to look at the whole game. So they're going to see Francis Ngannou and they're going to see his muscle, and they're not saying like oh, he's big and strong. They're saying, that's some lactic acid that I can really exhaust in there, you know. So they're really going to take advantage, like Stipe did do against him. Really get out of the way of the punches and just really exhaust them and take advantage of these little parts of the games that Francis Ngannou isn't anywhere near to put in his game, you know. So
it's interesting. I think Francis, if they get on a really good formula in their camp with his coaches, his training partners, his how he trains, how he practices, I think they could really string something super special, because he's already a very special athlete. Yeah. Very special fighter, you know. It's gonna be a long time before we see someone like Francis. But if he wants to win that title and defend it, I mean, think about it. Francis can really put things together a little bit. He can go out there, he can knock out Stipe, he can defend the title against DC, and then he can defend it again against John Jones. I mean, how a lot of people are in that position to fight these three guys in a row. Francis is in that position, but he's got to put things together, because if he goes out and fights Stipe in his next fight, or fights DC in his next fight, or fights John Jones in his next fight and gets completely demolished, it's just it's gonna be like, okay, this is gonna be the guy that can knock people out, but anybody who knows how to fight at that elite level, that championship level, he's not gonna be able to knock them out. If they're past their prime, he's gonna, it's not gonna, it's not what I want to see for Francis. But I want to see what's next for him. We're gonna see a lot I think, with his next fight.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
So that said, what do you think is next for him?
I think it's a title fight, but I think it's a title fight after DC and Stipe, do their business with that trilogy.
Yeah.
I think that fight needs to happen. I think the UFC wants that to happen as well, which is most important thing really. If the UFC, I think the UFC will make that fight. They're gonna tell Francis, wait up, just wait a little bit. I know it's not what you really want to do, but you're gonna get that title fight, whether it's with DC or Stipe. So, because that's a trilogy fight between them as well. So they're not gonna have a rematch after that or something. John Jones isn't about to jump to heavyweight. I don't think so. Not right now.
Yeah.
So, but he's gonna get a big fight next. He's gonna get a big fight, and he wants that fight. He wants that money.
Yeah,
he wants that life-changing money. So, yeah, like I said, I'm really intrigued to see what his next fight is and how he does, because we're gonna find out a lot about him.
Absolutely.
All right.